Here is your asterisk long-form sci-fi story, 1200 plus words, with a cinematic structure, strong hook, and powerful ending. Asterisk the alien queen thought she was in control. Until I took her hand. The council chamber was not built for humans. Everything about it felt wrong. The ceiling stretched impossibly high, filled with shifting constellations that weren't projections, but living star maps. The walls pulsed like slow-breathing organisms, glowing faintly with alien energy. Even the air felt heavier, charged with something unseen, something watching. And at the center of it all stood Mies, a single human, surrounded by beings that had ruled galaxies, long before Earth had discovered fire. I wasn't supposed to be here. Humans weren't even supposed to exist at this level of the universe. Yet here I was. Invited. Or more accurately, summoned. Asterisk, the beginning. Humanity's unexpected rise. It started with a signal, a discovery buried deep in the void between galaxies. A structure not made by nature, but by something far older. Humanity found it by accident. A drifting anomaly that responded, only to us. When scientists activated it, everything changed. Within days, Earth began receiving transmissions. Not from one species, but many. The Galactic Council, an ancient alliance of civilizations so advanced, they had transcended war, disease, even time itself. To them, humanity was an anomaly, a species that should not have survived its own chaos, a species that wasn't invited, yet somehow had access to forbidden technology, so they called us in, not as equals, but as a question. Asterisk the human representative. Out of billions, they chose me. Not a politician, not a soldier, a linguist, someone who could listen, understand, adapt, because no one knew what we were walking into. Before I left Earth, the last thing I was told was simple: don't try to impress them. Just survive. Asterisk the council chamber. The moment I entered, I felt it. Dozens of alien minds, observing, judging, measuring. Each member of the council sat on a floating platform, their forms wildly different. Some made of light, some mechanical, some beyond description. But all of them turned toward one presence. At the far end of the chamber, she hadn't moved, yet the entire room seemed to orbit around her, the alien queen. Asterisk, the queen of silence. She wasn't the largest, she wasn't the most terrifying, but she was the most certain. Her form was almost human, tall, composed, draped in something that looked like liquid starlight. Her eyes held a depth that made time feel irrelevant. She didn't speak, she didn't need to. When she finally stood, the chamber itself seemed to respond. Every other species went silent, even the council. Asterisk, the accusation. Her voice didn't travel through the air, it appeared inside my mind. You are not meant to be here. No emotion, no anger, just fact. I swallowed. Yet, I am. Not hesitation, evaluation. You have accessed a relic older than your species. Explain. I knew this moment would come, but no preparation could make it easier. We didn't build it, I said. We found it. That is not the question. Her gaze sharpened. How did you survive it? Asterisk the truth about humans. I took a breath, because this was the part they wouldn't understand. We didn't survive it, I said slowly. We adapted to it. A ripple moved through the chamber. Confusion, curiosity, disbelief. The queen stepped down from her platform. For the first time, she moved toward me. Asterisk the middle. The illusion of control lost. Every step she took felt calculated, precise, like she already knew where I would stand before I did. She stopped just a few feet away, close enough that I could feel the energy radiating from her. You claim adaptability, she said, yet your species is fragile. Individually, I replied, but not collectively. Another pause, her eyes narrowed slightly. You speak as if you understand us. I don't, I admitted, but I think you misunderstand us. Asterisk the test. Without warning, the chamber shifted. The floor beneath us dissolved into a swirling void of light. A test, a projection, or something far more real. Images flashed around me. Wars, disasters, extinction-level events. Human history, every failure, every mistake, every near collapse. This is your species, the queen said. Unstable, violent, predictable. I watched the images, and for a moment, I almost agreed. Then I saw something else. People rebuilding, surviving, adapting. No, I said quietly. This is what you see. I looked at her, but that's not what we are. Asterisk the shift. For the first time, something changed, not in the chamber, in her. A slight hesitation, almost invisible, but it was there. She stepped closer, now only inches away. Then show me. Asterisk the moment everything changed, I didn't have a plan, no strategy, no calculation. Just instinct. So I did the one thing no one in that chamber expected. I reached out and took her hand. Asterisk the break in reality. The reaction was immediate. The chamber froze, not metaphorically, literally. The shifting lights stopped. The floating platforms halted mid-motion. Even the other council members were locked in place, except us. Her eyes widened for the first time. Emotion. You, she whispered. Her voice was no longer controlled. What have you done? Asterisk, the truth revealed. I felt it then, the connection, not physical, something deeper. Her mind, linking with mine, and what she saw, wasn't chaos, wasn't destruction. It was everything. Human memory, emotion, contradiction, hope and fear existing at the same time, strength born from weakness, order born from disorder. You cannot, she said, struggling. This is impossible. No, I replied. This is human. Asterisk the queen's realization. She tried to pull away, but she couldn't, not because I was stronger, but because something in her was changing. You are not linear, she said, her voice trembling. You are not predictable. That's why we survive, I said. Asterisk the collapse of control. The queen staggered slightly. The entire chamber flickered. For the first time in what could have been millions of years, she was not in control. You introduce variables, she whispered. Endless variables. I nodded. And you've never learned how to handle that. Asterisk the ending. A new balance. Slowly, the chamber began to move again. Time resumed. The other council members looked around, confused. Uncertain, the queen stepped back, free now, but changed. Completely changed. She looked at me. Not as an anomaly, but as something else, something new. You are dangerous, she said, not as a threat, as a realization. Asterisk the decision. The council waited. The entire galaxy, waiting. Would humanity be erased, contained, studied? The queen turned to them, then back to me. For the first time, we have encountered a species we cannot predict. A pause, and that means. She looked directly into my eyes. We cannot control you. As I stood there, as in a chamber that no longer felt alien, I understood something simple and terrifying. They thought control was power. I took a breath, but they never realized. A faint smile crossed my face. Unpredictability is stronger.